Good afternoon, it's Friday, September 21. I'm Milton Walker with the Midday News. A special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. The killing of Minister James Johnson of the Church of God of Prophecy on Old Harbour Road in St. Catherine yesterday afternoon has been met with shock and condemnation. The 29-year-old minister was shot by a man in the church office shortly after 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Chairman of the Spanish Town Area Committee and Spanish Town Revival, Bishop Rowan Edwards, says the attack on the compound of the church was very troubling.
This is something that is not looking good for the nation. This is very troubling to know that gunmen could have walked into a church so brazen, so bold, and take out somebody who is in the clergy.
He says now is the time for the church to stand against crime.
Violence, murder must be stopped in this country. And I think the church ought to rise up stronger than we were before. We ought to send a message loud and clear to all the gunmen, all those of you who have an intent to destroy this nation and the good law-abiding citizens of this country. We want you to know that we are not putting up with it.
Meanwhile, speaking in the upper house this morning, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith noted that the incident underscores that criminals are not sparing anyone.
We have understood anecdotally that even among gunmen, there used to be rules. Babies, pregnant women, elders, churches are sacrosanct. Certain things should not be, violence should not be perpetrated against persons within those categories or in those places. But it seems that those rules don't exist anymore.
The Senate is now debating the extension of the state of emergency. The lower house on Wednesday voted to extend the state of public emergency in St. Catherine North until January next year. However, the parliamentary opposition has been calling for more information to prove that the state of emergency is having a serious impact on crime. While murders and shootings are down, crime statistics show that police have seized fewer weapons and arrested fewer people when compared to last year. There are renewed calls for the fire service in Mandeville to be improved. This follows the destruction of a 6-bedroom house in the parish Thursday afternoon. An eyewitness reported that the firefighters responded quickly. However, they were unable to contain the blaze because there was no water in the hydrants in that area. As a result, millions of dollars worth of furniture and the structure were destroyed. The residents are again expressing frustration with the limited resources that the fire department has in the Manchester capital.
I'm very embarrassed today. I live with my 2 children in this town, and it made me wonder today, what will it take for us to upgrade the fire system, the fire brigade system? A house burning down on Perth Road, right behind Mega Mart in Mandeville, Manchester. And there is no water to out this fire. We have a tanker down here from Kingston the other day, and they send back come for the tanker that they need it. They need the tanker in Kingston. And the house burned down, burn out because lack of water. What will we need? What will it take for us to upgrade the system?
Assistant Superintendent at the Manchester Fire Department, Emmerich Needham, confirmed the residents' account.
We came on the scene pretty early after we received the call. However, the roof of the building was completely engulfed. After the unit was exhausted, there was no water supply in the area, so we had to go to the nearest hydrant, which is at Racecourse Road.
He said that when the water in the tanker was finished, they had to call the Manchester Municipal Council and the National Works Agency, the NWA, but all their units were down. Mr. Needham said a tanker later arrived from Maypen, Clarendon, but the damage was already done. The government is expanding its Jamaica I program as it seeks to reduce the level of disorder and criminal activity across the island. More closed-circuit television cameras, CCTV, are being installed. The details in this report.
An additional 300 closed-circuit television cameras, CCTVs, will be installed in public spaces in Montego Bay, St. James by year-end under the Jamaica I initiative. Project coordinator Emil Holgate, who made the disclosure on Wednesday at a meeting of the Montego Bay Chamber of Commerce and Industry, said the number could increase as the program is expanded. 106 cameras have already been installed in Montego Bay, 70 of which are operational. Crime mapping and data will be used to determine the locations for the other cameras. Mr. Holgate said Jamaica I is in phase 2, which in addition to mounting CCTVs involved the installation of support systems as well as monitoring centers.
The final phase is phase 3, when we now move to having Jamaica I an operational program. Jamaica I is a pivotal project, and it gives the Jamaican citizenry the opportunity to contribute to restoring public order and to help the nation with respect to our crime-fighting initiatives.
Jamaica I, which was launched on March 14, is designed to network CCTV cameras owned by the National Security Ministry, as well as accommodate feed from privately owned cameras. The feed from the cameras provide useful footage in relation to criminal activity and other emergencies. Anthony Lugg, TVJ News.
Minister of Health Dr. Christopher Tufton accepts he will face a backlash over his decision to instruct hospital administrators to stop showing Indian soap operas in TVs in waiting rooms. Dr. Tufton has taken steps to have medical and health-based programs shown instead. The health minister reasoned that as a leader, he had to make a tough decision, and this was one such case.
I don't want to see any more Indian soap opera on the TVs in the hospital. I want to see health and wellness messages. And we will provide. I know, sometimes you have to make tough decisions, right? I want to see health and wellness messages that transmits to that captive audience, because it's a captive audience for a limited time. Messages about what to do and what not to do in order to avoid getting into A&E or in hospital in the first place.
Dr. Tufton was speaking at a function at the Black River Hospital in St. Elizabeth Thursday to promote better customer service at hospitals. He contended that some public health workers are inefficient or unkind because they know most of their patients have no option.
We cannot, as internal stakeholders, buy into that view that because people don't have no choice, them have to come. We can't treat them any old way. And I know most of us don't, but I also have to be real. I know some of us do. And we need to deal with that.
The Office of the Children's Advocate has taken an interest in a case involving the University Hospital of the West Indies and a 14-month-old child. Children's Advocate Diane Gordon Harrison told TVJ News that she could not say much about the case at this time. However, she said her office is acting to protect the best interest of the child.
All that I'm prepared to say at this time is that the Office of the Children's Advocate is actively involved from the perspective of protecting the best interests of the child, including, of course, the child's access to appropriate and supportive health care. But the matter is before the court. It's a live matter. And so just in terms of the ethics of the profession and the sensitivity of the issues involved, including the age of the child, I won't be discussing the substantive issues at this time, nor commenting any further.
The 14-month-old child in question was admitted to the University Hospital on August 22. It's reported that the parents were told that the child had 2 days to live, but outlived the doctor's expectations. The parents subsequently made attempts to get a second opinion, but were denied that option as they were unable to get the medical records. Jamaicans for Justice, JFJ, then got involved and took the matter to court.
In this case, withhold information pertinent to a child's survival until the parents give uninformed consent. And so what we find is that there's a pattern where public hospitals require consent in order for them to comply with the law, and that's not the way it works. People have a right to information before they consent, and we'll be taking legal action on every single one to ensure that hospitals comply with the law.
Chairman of the University Hospital, James Solomon, has reserved comment saying the matter is still before the court. We've also been unable to reach the family as they're busy trying to get the infant medical care.
It's been held up for a number of reasons. Things have been constantly delayed, so they're finally able to take steps towards ensuring that their child's health is going to be protected, and obviously, trying to find out how they're going to get, help and medical treatment for their child.
The National Water Commission, the NWC, is appealing to residents to properly dispose of their garbage, which quite often ends up in the sewage system. This week, residents on Roden Crescent and Olympic Way, St. Andrew, were inconvenienced by a burst sewer main. Residents in the area say the pipe has been burst for more than a month. The NWC response team dispatched to correct the problem discovered that the sewage system was blocked with garbage. The NWC crew was able to repair the sewer main after the blockage was cleared. In sports, the Jamaica Boxing Board of Control has been given a massive cash injection by the International Boxing Association. The fund will be used to prepare Jamaican boxers for international assignments. Simon Preston reports.
The International Boxing Association, AIBA, has given the Jamaica Boxing Board of Control US $300,000, which is to be spread over the next 3 years. This year, the Boxing Board of Control will receive US $80,000, while in 2019 and 2020, the local governing body will get $100,000 US. President of the Jamaica Boxing Board of Control, Stephen Bomber Jones, says he's delighted with this boost.
I'm over the moon when it comes to that. I mean, it's the governing body that, they've recognized you, they've called you out, and they show that they've been following what you've been doing over the years. So, I take it as a testament to the fact that we're on the proper path and that we have a far way to go, but they've noticed where we've come from. So not only noticing, but they've listened to us. They've asked for our opinion, we've given it, and then they said, okay, based on your opinion, we're going to support in this fashion. So it's a start, it's a very good start, and I think it transcends across the Caribbean. It will be a good thing.
Jones explained how the funds will be utilized.
What we had proposed to them was helping the Caribbean Championships at the end of the year, helping what we call Let's Box Days. So if a country says they would like to have a Let's Box Day, where they invite other countries over, a certain amount of money will go to that country. So we want there's enough for all the countries to get a bit.
General Secretary of the Jamaica Boxing Board of Control, Leroy Brown, also expounded on how the money will be spent.
But most of all, it's going to allow us to train particularly officials. The boxers will have their piece of the pie, but then we're going to have officials train. Right now we're short of boxing officials, and we are making plans for some training courses. One, to train the officials that we have now, and secondly, to bring new officials in.
Brown believes this move will improve the quality of officiating in the sport.
We're training new ones, and we're making those who are in there now to be better officials, because they will go through sessions. You have oral sessions, you have technical sessions, and then we're going to have like a card an evening, and then you go on there and you're going to be assessed by the overseas official. So the plans are great, and we have a far way to go, and we're getting there sooner than we expected.
Reporting for TVJ Sports, I'm Simon Preston.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Milton Walker. Join us at 7 for primetime news on behalf of the news, sports and production teams. Good afternoon.